Here we go. Here we go. Watch this. Hey, right?
I like it.
Wasn't that cool?
Pretty fancy.
There's actually a 10-second version one. I just couldn't find it because I felt that one was like actually technically around 21 seconds. And that was, for me, I was like, I wanted a little bit shorter than that. But that's what we had. So I wanted you guys to see it because I thought it was pretty cool. We finally had a little countdown video, you know? Chris is still not here. Now I'm like worried. He does have a new baby though, and we all know.
A message from him. Let me check.
He's on daddy duty right now.
And Chris says, "I'm waiting to be added."
Added where?
I bet he was looking at the same Zoom link I was looking at from the Slack channel.
Zoom link?
Yes, Zoom link.
We've never used this unless you're talking about Monday's meetings.
But that's probably what he was looking at.
I don't know, maybe.
These lumberjacks, man.
Let's see where he's at.
Tell him he's just gonna have to watch as a viewer now and use the comment section.
Poor thing.
All right, I just sent him the StreamYard link, so hopefully he'll whatever he was waiting on, hopefully he grabs that.
So what happens when you're sleep deprived? You're not sure what you're looking
at.
Yeah,
right.
Oh,
it's got baby brain. It is what it is.
For real. Oh yeah, I meant to wear my hat today because my hair's too long and too messy now. So, sweet. Well, good morning, guys. So happy we're all here together today. Very excited. For everybody who's watching, tuning in, which right now is 8:05. Thanks for being up in the morning with us. Hopefully you appreciate that, we've been doing episodes a little bit later now, right? To be honest, I've appreciated it. It's really hard to get all the stream stuff ready while I have like all my other stuff to do. Hey, look, Chris.
I was finishing up a bottle. Sorry.
See, daddy duty.
Yeah, sorry. Baby bottle for everybody who needs clarification.
Not for me. I was trying. and she's crying.
That's okay. That's all right. It's okay.
I know.
Oh, look, real life real estate.
Yeah, literally. So everybody's watching. Welcome to the R&R Home Team Mega Team Challenge. Basically, we're trying to build a mega team, and we're trying to do it as fast and efficiently as possible because, every now and then we can do these kind of why reasons. The big reason for pretty much all of us here is that we realize that if you want to go build a mega team, there is no blueprint. Now, listen, there's a blueprint for pretty much every other role in real estate. You want to be an investor? There's like an investor class, where to start, how to get your first deal. Mega team, there is no blueprint of where to find your first agent, how to vet that agent, how to turn that agent from 0 to 20 to 30, how to build all the right systems and processes, how to do any of this crap, not even how to run a meeting, which, by the way, I never knew how important it is to run meetings. I was always a wing it type of guy, and I have learned it's not a good strategy. And so we said, you know what, let's, all of us here are pretty fearless when it comes to failing forward in front of people. We don't really mind as long as we think the cause is worth it. So we said, well, let's do it public and let's build a mega team and try and help everybody as much as we can. So with that being said, guys, the itinerary I kind of had today, and I'm not sure, you probably didn't see me post it because I posted it right away, but I'm pulling up my little thing. But I was thinking we could I think our Monday meetings have been really good for offline and checking in and covering things that we need to cover, getting work done. Like, what would you guys agree? Like, Monday meetings, I believe, are serving the purpose that we intended them to, which was more focused and more like, here's the critical things we need to tackle. So with that being said, I think what we could do is kind of go back and almost have this be like almost a podcast type of feel, where we get in and we just kind of go back to where we were discussing what we were doing, where we were talking about things that we're accomplishing. I feel like each week we end up getting hung up on one or two things, and we forgot that the whole point of the live stream was to try and give people tidbits that they could take away and apply today, tomorrow, right? Or make a note of for when they are working on their team. So would you all agree with kind of the statement that I said? Would you agree with that? Does that sound pretty reasonable? Does it sound on track? You can be like, no, we've done everywhere so perfect. It's fine.
Well, obviously, if we have things we need to discuss and go over, we can always use it for that. But
Absolutely.
we don't have specifics, yeah.
Because I feel like, especially this week, we've had some really cool things happen that I would love to be able to talk about. So some of those things would be the new contest we launched on both sides, the Care Rev Share that we launched, because even though it's for the downline, it actually affects the team because agents on the team are part of the downline. So that's a cool little perk that we're bringing to the team. Talking about the huge success we had with shout out to Kelly McGill and the training she did. Talking about the training that we brought up, showing agents where to get more access to things. Some of the improvements we're making, Catherine, with the onboarding emails with the VAs and things like that. I just think we've had a lot of really cool things happen. And if you guys are cool with it, I'd love to just talk about them and hear people's thoughts and maybe ask some questions. Or I don't really know 100%, but I feel like having some fun discussions about what we're doing would be cool. All in favor?
I just got off a podcast, so let's go.
Which one?
I was on with Andrew talking a little bit about the market and some neat things.
Oh, Andrew Dunn?
Yeah.
Dude, Andrew Dundee over in Lundy. Hey, Ryan. He is in London, right?
Dunder Mifflin podcast?
He's in Canada, but yeah, London, Canada, whatever.
What? Andrew Dunn is in Canada?
But it's funny because they do a lot of their investing in Florida, so it was a great conversation.
Well, that's because Peter's there.
Yep.
See, I knew it. Well, I guess Irene said she got in, got out. She's good. All right. Well, let's talk about then the new contest that we launched. So we launched a buyer and listing appointments held contest. We went live. We actually launched two at the same time, one specifically for our team and one specifically for the Carbon Club. Hey, what's up? London, Canada. What province is London, Canada in?
It's one of those that are hard to spell.
All of them?
Yeah,
like Ontario's.
Everything.
Ontario's pretty easy.
Everything right? Towards the east.
Saskatoon is.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Where is it at? I thought I had it right here. Never mind. I'll find it later.
Oh, it is Ontario. Okay, one of the easier ones to spell. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Could you imagine you like had to write Saskatchewan?
No.
Tennessee, I always have to count my N's and my E's and my S's. I'm like, wait, do I just have enough? Okay.
Good thing you don't live in Mississippi.
Right. Anyway, so we launched the contest, buyer and listing appointments held. The emphasis was on held because we wanted everybody to feel that they have an opportunity. And we know that we can't always control necessarily whether someone's ready right now. but we can control the habits that lead up to finding out if they're ready right now. And those are the habits we want to encourage, because if an agent is holding appointments, they will get deals closed. That will absolutely happen. They'll become a better closer. They'll become a better agent. They'll know how to present better. They will overall become better, and more production will come from that. So we launched it, prizes. In fact, Indro, shout out to Indro, who won the last contest. He is actually taking his wife out on a date. Special night out that was definitely deserved. And so I think it's tonight he's going out. I think
I thought it was Saturday. Is it Saturday?
I could have. Well, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's tonight. But I'm excited for him. And
it's gonna be fun.
we also took Sunny. Shout out to Sunny, who was second place. We took him out to lunch, and he was like, "I can't believe I didn't win." He was like, "I was so close," and he was like, "Next time it's mine." So we're pretty excited about that. So,
and then we started the new one, and Garrett showed up.
Dude, Garrett showed up. Garrett, if you're watching or will watch this, bro, we see you. You showed up and you were like, "Hey, y'all sleeping right now, but I am awake."
Yep.
He wasted no time. Wow, it was impressive. And I think Sunny's crushing already too, coming in hot. Like, this is pretty awesome. So what do you guys think about the contest that we're doing, the one that we had, and what we're doing, opening up the next one? Anybody got any thoughts or comments?
I love it. I think a little healthy competition is always a good idea. No matter what dynamic, no matter what team environment, when you can take people and in a constructive and healthy way say, let's compete to see who can do more, it just brings out the best in people, and it's always a good thing.
I agree. Catherine, you got any thoughts about the contest we had and also the ones that are launching now?
I think that we did a really great job as far as keeping it simple as well, so that people can, one, figure out where to post it, how to tag us, all that good stuff, but clear on what it is that we're asking them to do. I know last time we were kind of like, oh, I mean, if you could like get somebody and like talk to them and tell us that you're going to have one. So I like that we've directed a little bit more toward the actual appointment held, to make sure they're not just having the conversations, they're asking that question to have a consult, and they're making sure to follow up. So
yeah, and part of the reason why, and if anybody feel free to chime in, but part of the reason why we wanted held again is habits, but also it is really discouraging if you're a new agent going up against a senior agent for closed deals. The reason why is if that senior agent did their job, they should be getting a lot higher quality referrals, and they should be closing more deals. I mean, that's right. They're a senior agent. They should be.
They close more deals with fewer appointments needed.
That's right. But if you're a newer agent, as long as you put in the work, which any agent in our team, and really with the work that Chris is putting on in now in certain states, you have an abundance of leads coming your way, which means as long as you follow the directions and training we give, and you just put in the work, you can set equal to or more appointments than even a top producing agent. Now, here's why. Now, some people are going to think it, but Chris made an amazing point. He said it will take them fewer appointments. You know what that means? They're going to get busy closing deals, and statistically, that means they will not work as many leads. They will not set as many appointments the more that they hold appointments that turn into closed deals, which means that new agent can come in. And when I say new, I just mean anybody who is not consistently closing deals pretty much every week. If you're not, hitting those numbers to where you're doing 2, 3, 4 deals a month, you might be at that place. They have a chance to come in and crush it. Absolutely crush it. So I think it's a lot more of a fair kind of battleground for people to be on. versus trying to compete with someone who already has an established business. You know what they always say, what is one of the biggest assets that a new agent has? Time. They absolutely do. And if they use them in the right advantage, it will truly make a huge difference for them in their business, and they can do exceptional things. Remember what I told you guys, my first year, Chris, your first year, Walter, if you have any comments, I don't remember how your first year went. Same for you, Catherine, but I know for Chris,
Walter
how
was
many
on a boat and
messages,
still
how many
outselling
calls?
people.
What'd you say?
I said Walter was on a boat and still outselling people. He's on a freaking Navy ship and still busting it better than people here.
He had carrier pigeons.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time sending those carrier pigeons, though.
Yeah.
Or were they carrier seagulls? Because you were out on it.
Yeah.
Seagulls and Hawaiian shirts. To be
Mine.
Yeah.
Leave a comment if you knew that reference. You get bonus points where the points don't matter. But Chris, I mean, for you, how many calls your first year? How many? And you were still working your job, but I know you put in hours, man.
Man, I was just constantly busting on social media. I hate cold calling.
When I say calls, I mean like contacts,
thousands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, my weekly average in my first year, when I realized I had to get serious and put in the numbers, I was 500 to 1,000 messages a week. And that was before Facebook was banning you for doing 10. And so like that's the point. There isn't, most top producers will never be doing those kind of message volume because they don't need to. And they're going to focus on other things. And so any new agent or team leader who's struggling with like, what do I tell my new agents to do? Dude, just tell them to contact people and get them on the phone. Riley knows. She's like, what's the problem? Just get on the phone. Get on the phone or send a message, book an appointment, meet them in person. Just talk to people. It will work itself out. You will become better all around. I think we have some hidden rock stars that are going to come out swinging pretty fast. Shout out to Tyler and his team. I think they're gonna come and hit hard. Kimberly, I think so too. I think we're going to see some hard hitters. I mean, Ray, thanks for tuning in, man. Shout out to Lauren coming in already, going after those for sale by owners. She ain't messing around. We see some pretty cool things. So yeah, that's why we're launching the contest now. Walter and Chris, I would love for you guys to talk about, the Care Rev Share a little bit and launching that in kind of the heart and the spirit. Whichever one of you wants to take the lead.
Give me a W. Walter, give me an E.
Oh, I thought that was for winning. I thought that was W for winning. I was like, yeah.
I was going to say it for we. And then,
for we.
You were going to spell the whole thing?
No.
You lost me on that one. Well, go ahead. You start us off, Chris. That way.
I did.
He did the W. He's out. He's done.
I got a W, and that was a warm up for Walter.
The end.
Wow. All right. Well, that was it. Yeah. So I love that idea. I love the fancy name Care Rev Share, but showing the agents not only that we care enough to give back to them as a thank you directly, right? EXP is already giving them a thank you, right, for all the things that they do. We're just taking it to a new level to show them our appreciation by sharing our rev share with them. But again, I think it goes back to it's tangible. If they can see the end result of their work, they can go, yeah, I absolutely want to do that for myself too. Maybe I want to build a small team within my team with rev share. Maybe I want to just talk more to other agents about how wonderful this model is and bring them over. Like it's not hard, and it's not a tedious, salesy, schmucky kind of thing that you have to do, but agents are attracted to value. And I think we're showing them that when we share a little bit of that rev share and they can see that tangible growth that happens. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I probably between now and the next 6 months, I think that conversation within the team is going to just continue to grow because they're going to see month over month the change that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And to be clear, everybody who's listening, you guys already know. If you know us, we're at EXP, but let's make something clear. You can go create your own version of this. EXP made it simplified for us. It made it easy for us to do this. But if you own your own brokerage, if you're at Remax or Keller Williams or whatever, you can go. The whole point is just we want to attract the right people. And the only way we can do it is if we lead by example. We want generous people. We want people who share. Well, dude, then we got to share. Like, we got to go and share and say, here. The other thing, too, is that I believe all of us have done well for ourselves. But specifically, Walter, Chris, and I, as the founders of the Carbon Club, we said, okay, what's one thing that might give someone a little bit of boost? Well, we do the contest. So now we're encouraging, inspiring them, helping them to set appointments to build their business. And then they're getting rewarded on top of that. And then we add the Care Rev Share, where they're getting a percentage of the Rev Share each month from the three of us, just as another blessing. Man, if any company, well, I mean, shoot, that's kind of why I'm where I'm at right now, is they said, we make lots of money. We're going to give some of it back to you. And what I make in Rev Share is just pennies compared to the total profit, but it means a ton to me that I got anything. It really does. It means a lot. And so, I mean, I think it's a really cool thing. Chris, what are your thoughts on all that?
If I'm not mistaken, your bills are paid by Rev Share now, right? At minimum, your mortgage payment?
Walter and I believe.
Yeah.
Our mortgage is now paid by Rev Share.
Isn't that pretty crazy?
Just by doing a regular real estate job and helping and training others that we were already helping and training.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling when you think about how passive income works. I mean, but well before I got into real estate, I taught personal finance and investing and different strategies. I would always tell people the easiest way to quantify in your noggin how much that really means to you to have passive income is to simply take a calculator and determine how much money you would need sitting in a savings account at today's interest rate to generate that much interest in a month. And so when you run those numbers out, when you talk about something simple like my mortgage is paid by Rev Share, that's my mortgage isn't huge. I don't live an extravagant life. But I ran the numbers the other day and just chatting with my wife about it. In order to generate that much monthly passive income in my savings account, I would need about $3.25 million just sitting in the bank, drawing 0.5% interest, because that's roughly what the average savings account will do for you. When you put it in quantifiable numbers like that, like that's what investing does for you. That's what Rev Share does for you. It's pretty mind-boggling. Like, it doesn't take long to get to a point where you're like, holy moly, this is truly money that I can work and live off and pay bills. And it's greater than any investment that I could have logically put into my own savings account.
Yes.
It's pretty crazy.
And I think it's cool because, let's be honest, the average agent right now, especially in this market, is not going to be going and buying rental properties right now. And let's be really honest too. We all know, despite the silliness of the gossip and rumors, most agents don't recruit. They don't. Not even close. So us giving them a taste of Rev Share is just showing them that what it means when you have money coming in, that in a way you, for lack of better words, you haven't earned, you didn't work for. You did the initial requirement, and then after that, it produced a result that no longer required 100% action. It might still require 10% action, right? There are requirements for those who want to participate in the giveaway, but like I think it's cool because it exposes me. I never knew how powerful, like you were just saying, Walter, passive income is. And again, guys, let's be clear. This is not a plug for EXP. This is a plug for building wealth for individuals through real estate, through profit generated through your company or your team. There are teams out there who are not at EXP, who have their own Rev Share. So we want to make that very clear. We're not pitching on EXP. We're talking about us trying to create a way to expose agents to think long-term for their health and well-being. There's a lot of agents selling a ton of homes who are absolutely miserable because they still don't make enough to sustain themselves. Right? Chris, you have how many properties and they cover how much of your bills, right? Like you were just telling Sonny and I.
Yeah, I've got a rental. I've got 2 properties in Florida. One of them was the first townhouse I bought, and I paid $400,000 for it. I'm getting $4,600 a month in rent for it. It pays my mortgage down there and my mortgage up here. And then the second property I bought down there, it's a short-term rental now, and it's paying for itself. And we go down there about once a month. So,
yeah. Yep.
it's pretty
Like
sweet.
it's a big deal. So we're just talking about in general.
Brad
like,
Vanderwall's in the house.
Hey, shout out to Brad Van Danowitz. What's that from? That's Parks and Rec, right? Brand Danowitz. Something.
I don't have time to watch TV.
Come on, bro. Bryce, come on, bro. Listen, Brad, I was up last night. My daughter kept me up. For those who don't know, the legend of Brad Van Danawal. Brad who?
Brad who? Who's Brad?
Man, we having fun. But Brad sold how many homes last year? Brad, did your team sell 1,200?
I thought it was like 3 homes.
3 homes. Oh, you're right. That definitely sounds more.
3 homes in like an hour.
1,250 homes last year. The legend. His team grew by 500-600% or something like that. Brad, as well, year to date, something astronomical. You went from like 10 to 30 or something like that. Unbelievable numbers. So we're really honored to have you here, Brad. As we're just 7 to 41. My goodness, you are insane. You are insane. We need to do some more. We need to do some lives with you. We keep saying that, but it's my fault. Speaking of that, the next topic is more guest speakers for training. So shout out to Kelly McGill, who came in and crushed it at our training. We do a bunch of different types of training. Not only shout out to Brad Vanderwall with Double Your Income Coaching, but we also just have some local partners here that we know that do some really cool training. Kelly McGill came in going fast, and she taught us her strategy on how she uses gifts to dominate her market. And even though she was in a brand new market she said she had one friend, I think, over in Clarksville, Tennessee, and she sold 49 homes, being brand new in that market. Unbelievable numbers. So, Catherine, did you make that one?
Mhm.
Were you able to get to that? I forget. Catherine, what did you think of seeing what Kelly had to show?
Oh, I thought it was fantastic. And I think it's great because she took something that she already enjoys doing anyway, and then just built upon that. And I think that's the biggest thing that I feel like most people don't realize in real estate now, because a lot of brokerages are still teaching the cold call way, but there's so many ways to take your own niche, whatever, and make that into your business. And she did exactly that, and look at the results that she got from it. And at the same time, she's actually enjoying what she's doing. A lot of us agents, when we first get in, we try to do what everybody else is doing, right? Or what all these agents said they did 15, 20 years ago to get their business up and running. And then we're burnt out within 6 months because we don't have the results. And that's why a lot of people don't make it past their first year or 2 in real estate.
That's why people don't make it in life. They spend their whole time trying to be someone else, and you can't keep that image, and it crushes you. Shout out to Lady Gaga, who literally said that. She literally said she created an image that she could not keep up with. So it sounds like a joke, but literally, guys, even for the rich and famous, creating images that you can't keep up with, God made you who you are, regardless of your beliefs, but I'm really open. God made who you are, and you have strengths, you have talents, lean into those. Kelly is a great example, truly. She took something that she knew she was passionate about. She loves gifts. She loves the creative side, the arts and the crafts and how does she build that. Now, shout out to Ray who made it very, very clear. He made a great point. Kelly's system is solid, simple, and affordable. If you heard her speech at first, you'd think that is impossible for a new agent to do. And Kelly was like, listen, here's how you start. And she showed us how with just a couple of dollars from the dollar store, and all she did, like each and every one of us should be doing, is she documented her process, how much she spent, what she bought, where she bought it from, when she gave it to the clients. And then she continued to refine and build on that until it became a huge, unbelievably powerful thing that just generates her strong relationships and in turn, very consistent business. It's amazing to see. Now, Walter, as someone who has such a deep background in cold calling, right? What was it like to see such a unique, in my opinion, unique approach from your perspective?
Yeah, very unique, and I really love it because it hammers home. A Kat just mentioned it. It hammers home something that even in my cold call course, I always say. I tell every agent, you have to prospect for your own personality type, right? You have to be doing this business in a way that aligns with your own natural gifts and abilities. So I love calling people. I love having conversations. So that works great for me. And so I teach other people how to do it well, but not everyone is going to do well at that. Kelly probably doesn't like to sit in front of a computer on a dialer and making phone calls. That's probably not her jam. She doesn't need to because she took what works well for her in her life and she applied it to her business in a way that every agent should do, right? You could almost get philosophical with it and say the first step for every good agent should be to understand who they are as a person. Because when you do that, you'll then learn, how do I best project myself into my business, into my prospecting, into my growth? That's exactly what she's doing. She just didn't get all philosophical with it. She just said, hey, here's how I'm crushing it in my market. If you want to do it, here's how. She laid it out very, very well. And I'm sure there are lots of other agents that are very crafty. They love giving gifts. That's their love language. That's their personality type. Yeah. They will crush it with that strategy. I thought it was wonderful.
I completely agree. And I think some really important takeaway homes, if you're a team leader, is I think identifying the strengths of the agents in your team and complimenting them and bringing in trainers that open and broaden horizon. Chris and I have been extremely successful through Facebook groups. Guess what? There may be not a single agent that comes on our team ever that will ever be into doing how him and I build our business Facebook groups. And you can run your team any way you want, but I think that, like all of us have been saying, and Catherine was saying, and the burnout of being someone else, well, running a business that was built by someone else and instructed by someone else, eventually that agent's going to get tired of it, even if they make good money. Look at the statistics. Even if they make good money, if they don't want to cold call, if they don't want to do Facebook groups, they're going to eventually stop, even if it's making them money. Guess what? People leave jobs where they're still getting paid because they get tired of doing a job they don't want to do, even though they're making money there. So if you're counting on, as a team leader, or even a solo agent who's managing your own time, if you're counting on the fact that money will be enough to make you keep doing high-level habits, money is not passion. Money does not create passion. It enables passion. It enables passion. And so I think, having a solid understanding of what are your strengths, what are your passions, and how do you turn and make money-making activities around those. People laughed at me for the Facebook groups. They're like, you can't do it that way. People, Catherine knows this firsthand. We were on a team and they saw my success. In like 3 months, I outsold their number one agent who had been on their team for like 8 years. And this is not an insult. And they still tried to force me to follow their habits of what they believed would be successful. And I'm like, but I'm outselling your top person who exemplifies the qualities that you say are the highest level of productivity that someone can have. And I think that's a really important thing, is like, you either have to build a team that attracts a very specific type of person only, right? Let's say a cold calling team. Shout out to Ricky Caruth. He tells people all the time, if you're going to come work with me at EXP, you better be a cold caller. You're going to miss out on my gifts, my leadership, because that's what I do. And I love that about him. He's super straightforward and honest. Here's what I'm good at. If you really want to be good at this with me, then come on over here. If you don't, you're going to miss out on a big chunk of what I offer. So you either have to have a team that's very definitive in who they attract, or you have to have a team that's flexible, where you bring in Kelly McGills, Trevor Harts, Walter Keys, Chris Rains, Catherine Bolsonelli's. Like, you bring in all these people who have different strategies that complement them. Chris, what do you think? You agree, disagree?
It all sounds good.
He's like, I'm just trying to keep the baby happy. Yep. I see that arm still rocking or patting or something. Yep.
Yeah, I got her in the chair next to me, just rocking it.
Yep. There's some pictures we have of like Evelyn like in this arm right here while I'm looking at the computer, like working and stuff like that, and she's just snoozing away. So with that being said, we're talking about bringing more guest speakers. I think that was a huge success. I definitely think highlighting more people, like how Tyler Gibson came in. What I noticed is when we brought, and I'd love your guys' thoughts on this, but when we brought someone else other than us, the usual leadership, to come in and teach their strategy, I saw a lot more action. What do you guys think? Would you agree?
Yep. Yeah, that's human nature, right? You see that even from the top of some of the largest corporate, you see that in the top military chains of command. When the boss speaks, everyone shuts up and they listen. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's the boss. They have to speak. They have to try to do a oorah thing, right? But when you bring people that are out there doing it, they're in the trenches, so to speak, especially in the real estate world, agents can identify better with that other agent that's out there doing it. They're grinding away. Yeah, and we're doing that too, but to a degree, right, where the bosses, obviously there's no bosses in real estate. You understand what I'm saying? I think psychologically there's a big difference when you bring in outside people that people can relate to a little bit better and say, they're not joking. Like, it really works. Like, I'm doing it. Here's how I'm doing it. You can do it too. It inspires more action that way.
I agree. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. It doesn't matter. Like, I kept on telling people, even about with my off-market strategies, I kept telling everybody to do it, do this, do this, do this. And then finally Indro did it and started having some success. And everybody's like, wait, I want to do that
what
too.
What are you doing? Tell me what you're doing,
Indro. I'm like, Indro, highlight what you're doing, buddy, because nobody's listening to me. Yep. So I'm like, make a video about this, because it doesn't matter what I say. Everybody just thinks that I'm just successful because I've been doing it forever or whatever, and they don't see the grinding.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Indro, you're currently grinding. Let's use you as an example. So all of a sudden, like, everybody started posting.
Truly. Yeah. I can say firsthand, I saw a huge uptick. Like I said, the moment we brought some external person who has had success, it didn't even matter if we had taught it 10 times before. The massive action came after someone else had brought and delivered the message. Now, Catherine, you work with teams and agents and even brokerages. I mean, have you seen kind of the similar effect, and from your perspective? Because you have a very unique one where you're kind of in the internal workings of a lot of these organizations.
Yeah. And I'll say that depending on how the team functions, and I know we're really good about keeping everybody kind of together, but you will see, especially people that have been in the corporate world, and this is something that actually my coach and I had a conversation about not too long ago, is they have that employee mindset. So they're used to having someone above them that tells them what to do. So automatically, the person that you're working with, even if it is your team leaders, and things like that, or even the coach. Sometimes it is kind of the same scenario, like Walt was saying. They hear it, but it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. And then, even to be honest, sometimes when I'm having conversations with team leaders, they've gotten so used to working with me, it's like in one ear and out the other. And so we have to regroup, and come back to them. I'm like, okay, look, we've been talking about this. You've been telling me you're going to do this. And then it goes back to accountability. But I definitely think that having that outside view, and not just an outside view, but those that people can relate to. So if you're bringing someone that, let's say, is making millions and millions of dollars, and you've got people that are still down here, right? It's very hard for them to be able to see where that perspective is. One thing that I've learned, and Tony Robbins says a lot, is we undermine what we can do, or we overthink what we can do, our goals in 1 year, but we undermine what we can do in 10. So when you bring someone that's been in the business, let's even say for 5 years, but they're crushing it, but they're up here. If you're down here, there's no way that you can figure out how to get there. You can figure out how to get to the middle. So finding those people that are kind of in that in between, like is like a perfect pipeline for them. It's a perfect foundation, because they're like, okay, so that's doable. So she's only she's in it 1 year. So it's a little bit more relatable for them. And it's just how we are wired. But
I totally agree. I love the way that you said it too, bringing in people that are at different legs of an agent's journey, so that there's someone 100 steps ahead of them, yes, but there's also someone 5 steps ahead of them, 10, 20, and so that they can just take it inch by inch and not feel like they have to make this super jump. I noticed that same disconnect when I first got into real estate. Every senior agent made it sound like it was super easy. They were like, oh, just make the calls. Like, I had one wonderful agent who helped me a lot. I won't say any names because I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but they were like, yeah, well, I mean, I just have people call me and then I call them back. And I'm like, who's going to call me? I'm brand new here. I have no pipeline. I have nothing. No, nobody's calling me, bro. Not even my mom. Because she's in California and I'm in Tennessee. She ain't calling me for real estate needs.
I think that's another disconnect that a lot of agents have, is they, especially those that are offered the position to come in and, I don't want to say boast, but boast about how they are. They forget where they were in the beginning. So then they forget to relate to what they went through. They're so focused on, oh, well, this is what I did and this is how it looks. And they make it sound fantastic, but we need more realism in this industry than we have. That's a huge thing, in my personal opinion, that you don't see a lot with real estate agents, which I personally believe is one reason why a lot of clients expect a lot more and get irritated when they find out how much money, when they count the commission, right, that we're making. They don't realize all the things that we had to do in the background to lead up to getting to this point, to even have a conversation with them, to finally get them to trust us, and then show 50 homes to find something to deal with the agents on the other side. I'm very open with my clients when I have conversations like that. In the very beginning, I was like, I did what every other agent told me to do, just, don't tell them if you're having a lot of problems, just let them know that you've got some things you're working on behind the scenes. No, I'm very upfront with my clients. I don't take fault for other people's crap anymore. If I have an agent that's being difficult, I let my client know that. Now, I always reassure them, like, I'm going to do my absolute best. This is the conversation that I had with them, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm not taking the blame for people on the other side who are causing issues, because then your client ultimately gets irritated with you because they don't realize the crap you're doing. I've had people who I worked with when I first started 3 years ago, and I'm horrible at follow-up, by the way. I'll admit that. And I had someone that I hadn't talked to in a year and a half that referred people to me because of what I did for them, and because I explained the process and let them know what was going on all the way around. So they actually knew what it is that I did and what I dealt with, instead of me glorifying that, oh, I got everything and it's perfect and we're doing fantastic and don't you worry about it. Like, I was very real with the people that I worked with, and we need more of that in this industry. I don't understand why we all put on a pretty face and pretend like we don't stress more than our clients do and feel horrible if something goes wrong for them.
Like, shout out to, was it Brent Gove, Chris, that said, if you're doing 100 deals, you're doing too many deals. Go train 40 people on how to do 40 deals or something like that. Like, in other words, he was saying, like, if your whole career and your whole life is all about you, you're not helping your industry. You're not helping others. You're missing the big picture. You're missing a huge opportunity too. See, Riley knows. She's
She
like, no.
agrees.
She's like, stop being so selfish. Help a brother out.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, I'm hungry too. Feed me.
Brent go, right? I think it was Brent that said that. He said just basically, if you have a lot of success, go help people achieve success too. Stop just saying, okay, me. And thank you, Denaro. Am I saying that right? I've never actually said your name out loud because we only talk by messenger. Isn't that funny? Then you say it out loud for the first time. You're like, oh man, I hope I said that right. Oh, Walter had to run. Sorry, I meant to say that. He had a meeting that came up. We're close to wrapping up anyway. So another cool thing that we did today, which I have been terrible at doing and I'm improving on, is sharing some of the inside training that we get with Double Your Income Coaching, and of course the Carbon Club and some of our other partners. And so we actually highlighted NAEA. Anybody who's watching, go Google it. It's an amazing program that all of our agents have access to for absolutely free. And we did that because and Catherine was great at reminding me not to do this. I'm a builder. So when someone's like, I need something, my brain doesn't immediately go and say like, oh, okay, I'll just go see if I have that. I'm like, oh, sweet, I'll go build it. Someone's like, I want a car. I'm not like, let's go to a car lot. I'm like, let's go build a car. It's actually not a really smart thing to do, especially if you're not a mechanic. Like, but that's just my nature. I love to build stuff. I do. I take so much pride in saying I built this, even if it looks like junk. So some agents were asking about mindset and like how to be an overall great buyer's agent, listing agent. And so literally Walter, Chris, and myself, we started to put together Google Docs because we all have experience in these. And then I think it was Chris and Catherine at some point was like, why are you trying to reinvent the wheel when you have an amazing, well-rounded, proven system available now? Like Catherine and Chris, I think that was both of you. So great, you two are still around. Thoughts?
Yeah, what you said about the car thing really just resonated with me and put it into perspective, because I'm like the very first person to go get something secondhand. Like, I want somebody else to pay retail. I'm going to get secondhand. I'm going to take advantage of what somebody else did or somebody else already spent too much on it. I'm going to get it for half. So same thing with the trainings. Why do I need to go create it when somebody else has already done it? And if I can get it for free and take advantage of what they've already done, that's what I'm doing.
And it was built by absolute legends.
Yeah. And
shout out to Jay Kinder, Michael Reeves.
That I can do it any better than them. Yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at on it. But that resonated with me, and that probably is why I was like, why are we building all of this? Because I didn't think about that until now. But I'm like,
you and I just go get them, right?
Even in my personal life, I'm like, I'm gonna take advantage of what somebody else has already done.
Yeah, it was either Monday or last Friday's meeting when Catherine, you just cut right through it, and you actually were a little bit soft with it because you were just like, why are we, versus saying we shouldn't. You were like, why are we building this when we should be highlighting what we already have that's proven and great and it works. And it's like my brain just didn't even realize that because I just go build stuff. That's just me. Like, that's who I am. Like, anybody knows, like, that's just what I do. So, like, lesson learned here. One, have someone like Catherine in your life who is not looking and thinking like a team leader. She's thinking like in efficiency and a productivity and organizations and systems. Have someone like that that's looking basically really third person at your business to come in and be like, hey, I get that you could do it, but you don't need to because it's already done.
And you'd be surprised how many people that I work with that have some amazing ideas, or let's say they got started to a point they just never got around to finishing it out because they got lost in the process. And in my business, what I enjoy doing is actually taking their ideas and saying, okay, well, how can we finish it? Because it's already something they want to do. It's already something that's going to work better for them. So why would I go in and build something that's going to work in my direction when they can have a completely different personality trait than me? So that, I mean, that's a lot of times is what I do. There are sometimes I go in and completely rebuild systems that were not there. But for a lot of people, especially higher producing agents, they've had the ideas, they just haven't been able to puzzle piece it all together and then implement it. So that's what I get to do. I get to take their ideas and make it come to life. And that's the fun part.
I have to give you an extra shout out, Catherine, for your amazing conversation with me yesterday. I want things to be organized so bad, and I'm really good at short-term organization, but I feel like my long-term organization sucks because it's too far gone. And Catherine literally got on a call with me yesterday and basically was just like, listen, you're trying to do too much at once. Just do this first step and you will move in the right direction. And I left that feeling so much more inspired. So I wanted to give you an extra shout out. Another reason why to have Catherine in your life. And she does have a business that literally does this. So like, if you need someone like her, please do yourself a favor, get in contact with Catherine. Last part, Chris and Catherine, I think both of you have seen a little bit of this, but we're working on improvements with the onboarding emails. One is we're trying to alleviate some of the burden on Catherine, who currently manages the team's onboarding process, by having a VA come in and send welcome emails and emails on behalf of agents. Now, one of the things I think personally, and I want to have feedback from both of you, but I think having her send emails on behalf of agents versus telling the agents to send the emails has produced a little bit more efficient result, simply because we know the right people are CC'd. We know it gets done relatively immediately. We know it goes to the right people, but also we know that agents get so overwhelmed during anybody's onboarding process, but especially EXPs. We've all talked about it. It's a rough one. And so the more that we can kind of take a little bit of the burden, knock off a few things off their plate, I think that we're helping with the stress of what it is when you're transitioning to a new brokerage and you're getting onboarded. But what do you guys think so far? Whoever has seen the new emails and what we're working on with that process, what was your feedback?
The one thing I've seen is EXPs already sending them emails to set them up for onboarding. So the EXP people are sending emails back to the email to set up for onboarding. Like, hey, we sent an email for onboarding already. So I'm just I would like to figure that out to where we don't just bombard EXP constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So here's, I thought about that. So here's my thoughts on that. One is, a couple times, especially in the last few agents that have come over, certain automated emails from EXP did not send. So this guarantees that we're CCing and getting those people right in front. And then the second part is, the goal is when they get so many steps from EXP, the EXP emails are huge. They're monstrous. And that's not an insult. I understand that onboarding is just a lot. It's just hard. So there's no critiques.
Everything's legal and
yeah. What I'm noticing is EXP is telling them to do exactly the right things, but by the end of the email, they don't even remember 3/4 of it because there was so much stuff. Mm-hmm. And so our welcome email is basically us saying, hey, this is your onboarding team. This is who you're going to go to for the EXP onboarding side. This is your broker. And kind of just getting those introduction emails and opening up a line of communication that they themselves don't know or too shy or whatever to instigate. That's the hope behind it. And then, of course, the welcome email, just welcoming them to the Carbon Club or the team. Catherine, you haven't seen it, but we did a video that
Uh-oh.
will go into these emails, and it is, in my opinion, hilarious. And that is exactly what we wanted. So I can't wait. You'll see it soon. It'll go out soon. But that's so, Chris, because I agree with you, and I thought about that, but then I saw where EXP hadn't had automated emails because they updated their system. And if you see those template ones, the ones where we introduce them to the onboarding team, it's a very short email.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, they are here. Because what I've noticed is I'm actually getting some responses from EXPs on those emails. And some are saying, oh, okay, thank you. I'm going to push them through faster. There is a queue. But when you go and everybody's standing in a line, but someone says, or actually I think of it more of like a bunch of people are sitting down waiting to be called. And so there's this person standing there, and they're looking around and they're like, all right, who's ready? And then someone stands up and says, you know what? I'm ready. They're like, you know what? Yeah, come on. Just come on over here. Let's just get this done real quick. That's kind of the way I look at it. And that's where I've had most of my success with getting things pushed through is I'm like, hey, by the way, I'm smiling. I'm not mean. I'm nice. Can you help me? I appreciate you. Can you help me? So that's kind of where my perspective is from it. I'm not saying I'm right, but that's kind of the reason why I do it. Catherine, you got any thoughts?
No, I mean, I still have to see the emails and stuff that we're doing, but I mean, the communication up front to like get it started, I do think has to be a tad pushy and on top of them because they have so many coming through that I feel like sometimes it gets lost. Yeah. Like, for example, as far as getting the trek form signed, like usually that takes 2, sometimes 3 days. And I know we have a lot of people that are also coming to EXP. So I don't know if that's the possibility of what it is, or the simple fact, like we've talked before, that you've got several people on one email. And if someone checks that email but doesn't reply and doesn't unread it so that the next person can see it to take care of it, right now it just got lost in the thread. So I think in the beginning, kind of establishing that and getting them over the hump isn't a bad thing, as long as we're not completely overdoing it, or as soon as we see that somebody is replying back, which is why it's so important for the agents to be like, hey, they got back to just me, blah 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 blah, and they're keeping us in communication. That helps as well. So
totally agree. Well, shoot, it is that time. Let's end it right on time. Everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. Chris, Kat, if you want to send me a message in Slack and let me know kind of your feedback of how we ran this meeting, the approach we took, it was definitely different than we did, but I had a lot of fun with you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for Irene, even though you were in the car trying to tune in and out. Walter, thanks for being here. And everybody who tuned in, look at all these comments. For everybody who came in, left comments, engaged. You guys are amazing.
Brad, Denaro, Alec, Ray,
Garrett.
Garrett.
Is it Dania? I don't know. Forgive me if I say it wrong. Facebook user. Alec. Thank you all for being here. We're here for you. This is why we do it live. We want to just bless and help others in this journey, because you can hear there's a lot of growth. And it never stops. Every Friday, 8 a.m. Central, we go live. Feel free to send us comments, messages, requests, suggestions, ideas, concerns. It doesn't matter. We just want to hear from you. We want to engage with you. Have an amazing weekend, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Hey, guys.